Global warming is a gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, generally attributed to the greenhouse effect. This effect can be clearly seen and studied by direct observation of our nearest neighbor in the solar system, Venus, which lost its oceans due to a runaway greenhouse effect. Currently observed and measured energy imbalance, if added up, is about 20 times greater than the rate of energy used by the whole humanity. It's equivalent to exploding 400,000 Hiroshima atomic bombs per day, 365 days per year. That's how much extra energy the Earth is gaining each day. Greenhouse effect was first described in 1896 by Nobel Prize winner Swedish scientist Svante Arrhenius, but until about 1960 many scientists doubted that global warming would occur. In the United States, the mass media devoted little coverage to global warming until the drought of 1988 and James Hansen's, then the head of the NASA Goddard Institute for Space Studies, testimony to the Senate, which explicitly attributed the abnormality of hot weather to global warming. Climate change deniers argue that the sun is the main cause of the climate change. They claim that this is a recurring natural event that has been happening at regular intervals on the planet Earth since it was formed. They deny that human activity is the cause of this effect, and it is minuscule compared to the natural effect. Global warming remains an issue of widespread political debate, sometimes split along party lines, especially in the United States. There are debates about the best policy responses to the science, their cost effectiveness, and their urgency. Climate scientists, especially in the United States, have reported official and oil industry pressure to censor or suppress their work and hide scientific data and not to discuss the subject in the media. Legal cases regarding global warming have reached American courts. The fossil fuels lobby and think tanks have often been supporting efforts to undermine or discredit the scientific consensus of global warming. Many countries which economies heavily rely on production of the fossil fuels for export and internal consumption are reluctant to adopt reduction in production because it threatens their economies. Poor countries see a climate change deal in fundamentally different terms. The problem is one of fairness and history. Rich countries have been responsible for two-thirds of the carbon put into the atmosphere since 1850. For them to cut emissions in absolute terms now would continue an unjust pattern. Social implications of global warming are extremely serious. Climate change affects food production across the globe. Droughts, floods, and extreme storms are becoming measurably frequent. Extreme weather patterns start to kill people. Heat wave in 2003 in Europe killed more than 50,000 people, and in 2010 in Russia triggered global spike of food prices. In 2014, NASA announced we officially crossed the climate tipping point, that the loss of ice sheets is unstoppable. It leads to drastic rise of sea level and global floods, change of coastal lines. Florida and Mississippi Valley and a lot of islands will be submerged. Now you know what I know that moves me to raise this alarm. We need everybody's help to communicate the implications and the solutions, such as placing global restrictions and drastic reduction of the greenhouse emissions, taxation of emissions like it was proposed in fee and dividend policy, and distribution of the collected fees to the population or investment into the implementation of green technologies and their research. We have to change our behavior immediately. It is immoral to leave our children and future generations with the climate system spiraling out of control.